In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Yesterday we talked about authority, and we said that authority comes by the power that stands behind the one who walks in authority. And so, here's my question to you. Do you believe that the power of God Himself is standing behind you so that you can move in authority? Because the only way you'll move in authority is if you have faith in the God who stands behind you. Oh, it's all about believing on Jesus and knowing that God trusts you to carry the authority of His power against everything that the enemy would scheme against you. Soon we're going to be in chapter 10 of Luke, and we'll see in verse 19 how Jesus gave authority over all the power of the enemy. You move in that authority, not because you can do it on your own, but because the power of God stands behind you. Well, today we're in Luke 7, and we're going to read verses 11 through 17, and this is a great story. I want to challenge you. In John 14, verse 12, Jesus said, "The things I do, you'll do also, and even greater things, but you'll do the things that I do." All right, as I read this story, let that rest in the back of your mind. Verse 11, Luke 7. Soon afterwards, Jesus went to a city called Nain, and the disciples who were going along with him accompanied by a large crowd. Now, as he approached the gate of the city, a dead man was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and a sizable crowd from the city was with her. All right, get the picture. This woman's only son, she's a widowed woman. Her only son has died, and they're having the funeral. They're carrying his body now to bury it. Verse 13, when the Lord saw her, He felt compassion for her, and He said to her, "Do not weep." Oh, Jesus rises up in compassion because He loves us. Verse 14, He came up and He touched the coffin, and the bearers came to a halt, and He said, "Young man, I say to you, arise." And the dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. Fear gripped them all, and they began glorifying God and saying, are you listening? They were saying, "A great prophet has arisen among us." And they were saying this, "God has visited His people." Well, this report concerning Him went out all over Judea and in all the surrounding districts. God has visited His people in Jesus. Now that's just the truth. Jesus is God, and He came to earth, put on a body so that He could interact with us. And one of the ways that He interacted was with great compassion, because God absolutely loves His people. And so, as you let the authority that is carried in the love of God and the grace of God that He has for His people, as the love of God fills you and flows through you, the things that Jesus did, you'll do also. Do you believe it? Oh, behold, the truth of the gospel. The power of the love of God is in every believing believer. Let it flow and make a difference in the lives of others. God bless you as the love of God, the power of God, the authority of God, the glory of God rises up in you for the sake of those who God loves so much. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. I'll see you there.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Jesus.